So we're backstage at WayHome in a beautiful forest with A Tribe Called Red.
Hey.
Gents, how are
What's
you?
happening?
Okay, so we have DJ NDN, we have Bear Witness, and Toolman, you're new.
Yeah, hello.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Okay, so what's your story?
I was producing around, just kind of staying quiet and was working really hard. And then these guys we kept seeing each other, running into each other. And then it just kind of made sense after a while.
Okay, cool.
To put me into the fold. So
I want to talk about the new track, which is so amazing, RED. Some pretty killer guests as well. How did you see? I want to say most deaf, but it's Yasiin.
Yasiin. Yeah, Yasiin.
So how did that hookup happen?
Narcy is really good friends with ours. Our tour manager's actually like DJs with him. Like that's how close the familial tie is.
And for people who aren't familiar with Narcy, can you give us a bit?
Narcy is this Iraqi Canadian rapper who is one of the smartest dudes I've ever met. The guy's incredible, and he is friends with Yasiin. And Narcy brought him around and then talks about like, hey, you should come in and try this. And then we got him in the studio.
Also, can we talk about the drums? Are those part of the session you had where you recorded the live drums?
mm-hmm. Yeah, we were when we went to Manawan. We actually got to just record acapellas, all of them together, and then the drum itself. So we had a lot of opportunities to experiment with different patterns, different miking techniques, and all that stuff. So the drums were very, very important that we had to get right.
Yeah, and that was the first time you recorded with live drums, right?
Yeah, and it's never really been done before because there's no blueprint really, so we kind of had to make up our own.
It hugely affected the way that we construct tracks because now we actually have all the pieces, like Lego blocks now. Before we had our Lego blocks were glued together in certain spots, and now we just have all the pieces and we can put them together any way we want. Before it was always, the powwow drum had to be this big bass kick. Well, now we can use it just almost like a snare because we can just have that, just the slap of the skin, and the possibilities that it opened up to us was never ending right now.
Would you say that's the biggest change on your record?
No.
Okay.
No.
So what can we expect?
A completely different project than we've done before.
Yeah.
I mean, we still are using the same skills, I guess, that we've put into our other music with making, dance music. And we've definitely matured that sound, I'd say, a lot. And we've done a lot with kind of breaking down that big electronic music sound into its parts and using it to create more of a story, to have more emotion than just yay,
Yeah.
and it's really have some texture and some feeling and emotion in the album that I don't think has been there in our music before. And I think a lot of that is due to our working with Tim. Tim has just been such an amazing person to work with in the studio. He's been making hip hop for over 10 years now. And 15 years.
So you remember in the beginning, you're like, I was just a producer. I'm like, I'm not sure about that.
But then it's a really interesting process over the past 2 years to then take what Tim knows and his skills and cross it over with what we do.
And you're gonna understand a lot more once you hear the whole album, because we're trying to tell something. So just playing a set of bangers isn't necessarily what we're trying to do anymore. So it's going to be, I'm really stoked for this set to come out.
I want to ask, for people who are unaware of, and I hope I say it right, is it Hallucination?
Yeah, Hallucination. It's a concept that came up through John Trudell. He was an activist who occupied Alcatraz in 1968, and also had a hand in starting the AIM movement, and and then also became a really well-known spoken word poet, and was really well respected in the music scene and all this. And he's an incredible poet, an incredible inspiration to us as being Indigenous people. And he wrote these poems, and one of them was the hallucination, and it was this idea we kind of wanted to create a nationhood in a way that Indigenous people know, and kind of have a lightning rod of like-minded people who see the world the same way we do, and see the problems that we do, and kind of have a meeting place that we could kind of meet up together. Yeah.
I like that I was so focused on trying to pronounce it right, I didn't even put together that it was basically hallucination.
I think that's happened to a couple of people.
Hallucination.
But like most things we do, it's super multi-layered. This collaboration with John came up, and he sent us one poem that was amazing that he wrote for us called "The Tribe Called Red," and we were going to use that. And when he ended up recording it, he kind of slipped in this other one that ended up being the hallucination. And with that, it was our story. It was the story that we were trying to find was all in that poem. You know, it was just kind of this huge aha moment where it was like he just gave us exactly what we needed. And that story of the hallucination then started to take shape on something that was beyond just kind of the reality part of it. But we're also telling this story about a group called the Hallucination who break off from the rest of society, in like 70, 80 years in the future, and begin to start a new life that's based and rooted in their connection to the earth.
It's a beautiful thing. I'm excited to hear the record. So congrats again, and I'm so happy to see you guys.
Yeah, it's nice to see you too.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great set.
Thank you.
And nice to meet you, Tim.
It's nice to meet you too.